Well, since it's another really nice sunny day and the 1st of April tomorrow, it's time to plant some more things. This is what I've got today. Onion sets, and they're called stir-on. And I got 50 bulbs for £2, so that weren't bad at all. But when I start off onion sets, I always do them in a certain way, just to get them going before they go into ground or raised beds. So I'll show you what I do with them. And it's also a good idea to do this for another reason, and I'll tell you why as we're doing them. Another advantage to getting cheap pre-grown plants, we get to recycle all these containers. As always, we'll give it a quick fill, and then I'm just going to press it down a little bit, but I don't want to compress it too much because these bulbs need to go in deep. So just a little bit like that, and then top it off. And I'm going to do a couple of these packs, and maybe I'll put some others in some containers somewhere else. So a light pressing on that, and then fill it back up. I think these bulbs will all be pretty much same, but you can see that we've got some nice plump and firm ones, and that's important. If you get squishy ones, just discard those. And we're going to start them off in these packs, and that is your root side of your bulb, and that little bit on top is where your plant's going to grow from. So what we need to do is put them in this compost and then just push them in and just leave that little tip sticking up like that. You can allow some bulb to be showing. It's better to do it like this, and that's the reason I didn't compact that compost, as it makes these bulbs hard to push in. Simple, easy job, and then all we're doing is just filling around it. And I'm being selective and making sure I get the big ones. So again, root, top of your onion. Straight down, cover it up, but leave that tip sticking out. And this one's quite a big onion, but that's gone in easily. Really simple job to do to get your onions started, especially if you live in quite a cold part of the country, because you can just pop these trays indoors or in a propagator while they get going. So we'll just keep going until we've filled both of these trays. So that's the last one going in, and we got 24 onions all set up ready to grow. So put them somewhere where they're getting sunlight, and you'll soon see those green tops starting to appear, and we have got quite a few left. The reason I start these off until they started getting green shoots coming out is because when you plant them and you've got these little tips sticking up, birds will think they're worms, and they'll go along your beds and just pull them all out. But as these green tips grow, you're going to develop a root system as well. So when you pop them out as plugs and shove them into the ground, the birds won't be able to pull them out, and that's why we do that. So a good watering, and we'll pop them in sunlight and wait for them to grow. Something else that I've decided to start growing this year is these petit pois pea plants, and the dwarf ones as well, and they're called wavericks. They're only very tiny peas. As you can see, very small, but some of them have started to turn brown, so I thought I'll get the best out and we'll get some pea plants, won't we? Once again, I put them in recycled packs, and I put 5 seeds in each, and that was about a week ago. But I put them in that propagator and I stood them in some water. It's really heavy, this, and I forgot about them basically, and all of a sudden they're all shooting up. So they're in a position now where we could plant them. And I also picked up some of these as well, carrot seeds, because we're going to grow some regular long root carrots, and these ones are called flyaway. So they're basically like resistor fly. So if you grow those sort of carrots, you shouldn't have any problems with carrot root fly at all. So we're going to do that in a container at some point this week, and then we'll get ourselves some really nice homegrown carrots. And this is the garlic that we started off in little pots, and that is shop bought garlic. We just split the bulb and planted the cloves. We've got 4 of those on go, but you can see they're doing really well, but they are getting ready to be moved on to somewhere a little bigger. I can never resist a bargain, so I picked up a couple of pre-grown pepper plants, and these are called Bendigo. Never heard of them, maybe you have, but they're a sweet bell pepper. But those plants look really healthy, and they was only $1.20 each, so a bargain I couldn't say no to. So we'll get them put into some bigger containers and encourage more growth. So only the 1st of April tomorrow. We've already got quite a few things on go, but plenty more to think about. We'll get those petit pois sorted out. We'll wait for those onion sets to appear. Meanwhile, we've got other things in other containers like spinach and lettuce that started to come through. So before you know it, we're going to have lots and lots on go. And this was something I noticed this morning. That rhubarb, although it's growing really well, has started to get a flower on it. So basically, I pulled it out. We don't want that on as plant. And if you pull it, it usually leaves a seal. But if not, you can always poke a leaf down inside there to cover that hole up, just so it doesn't start gathering water and rotting the centre of your plant. But they usually do that at this time of year, every year, so that is not a problem. That plant will carry on producing. I also got gifted these really big bell pots. Somebody on site gave them to me because they're not using them, so thank you very much for that, Steve. I really appreciate it. So we're going to get some holes drilled in the bottom of here, and I'm going to put those apple trees in, and then they're going to put even more growth on, and we'll get a lot bigger plants by mid-season. There is apple trees, and you can see they're starting to leaf up, which is great stuff. And they're in quite big containers, but they'll do a lot better in a container that size. So that's another plan. And if we have a quick look at those potatoes that we've been chitting, these are basically ready to go. If you look at that, it's got quite a few chits on top of it, which is great. I'm only going to keep 2 or 3 chits on top. The rest I'll just knock off. I don't want to grow more foliage than potatoes, so I'll just knock that one off as well, and I'll probably just leave it at that. And this one's got a couple on as well, so they're on the way, ready for planting in April. So it might be very early in season still, but as you can see, we've got quite a lot of things on go already. That's the spinach and mixed salad. It's still trying, and its cabbages are putting even more size on. And so far so good with those carrots and lettuce. So another amazing day to be doing as container gardening, and since it's April tomorrow, we've got a lot more to do. And if you want to see what that is, please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.